Hey everybody, I'm Steph.
Hi, Michael.
Today we have our top 10 games that we learned in July.
2023.
What day is it?
It's the Wednesday after Gen Con.
I know, it's all a blur. I feel like we're already at the 9th of August, and I'm just like, where did those 9 days go? I don't remember.
Nobody knows what day it is anymore. If only we had a calendar.
Oh, yeah, I gotta look at the calendar. Okay, cool.
Which it's about time for you to start creating next year's
I
calendar.
know. It's been on the back of my mind. I'm like, I want to play a lot more of the Gen Con games to get even more options for calendar for 2024. And so hopefully we'll hear more about that in the coming months.
Yes.
And I'll have that ready to go. So be on the lookout for that. That should be coming. We just got back from Gen Con. So many Gen Con stories, but
Not many.
so many more games to play in August. But we still have to talk about what we played in July.
Yes. And for once, I played more new games than you. It was only one more, but I got to play more games than you. More games than you.
But I had already played
Yes.
the ones that you were
Most of
mentioning
them.
for the first time. So
Most of them, yes.
already played them.
Yes.
So therefore,
I have to catch up somehow.
yeah, you got to play them all at some point.
So I played 49. You played 48.
I know it was so
That's rookie numbers.
I know it still felt like a lot, but yes.
Yes.
So like in July,
It still puts you on track for 600.
Yeah, in July we went to Dice Tower, so we spent a lot of time there. And when we're at Dice Tower, I end up playing a lot of games I know and teach other people. So we didn't learn a whole lot.
So we didn't learn a lot of new.
That's okay.
The weekend before Dice Tower, we go over to our friend Evan's house, and there we do play quite a few new games. Evan wants to learn some. Yeah.
A few.
And so yeah, that's not as many new games happened there.
Yeah.
Also, Gen Con is not a place where we learn new games because we're not playing at Gen Con. We're mostly
running around with like our heads chopped off.
Yes. So, but that's not to say that there weren't a lot of good games in July, because there were, and we have them right here. Though I got to say, you had a lot of them on the low side on your blog.
That's okay though.
That's okay, because
you gotta play them all.
Your 2s might be someone's 10s.
It's true.
You never know.
You never know.
So, as usual, never take a reviewer's numbers as gospel. That is just their opinions about something, and hopefully you find something to like about, all of these games.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and start off with my number 10, I guess. And that my number 10 would be Archeos Society from Space Cowboys. Now, this is a re-implementation, re-theme of Ethnos.
Yep.
In which you are drawing cards, Ticket to Ride style, and playing them in order to advance on one of 6 tracks. Unlike Ethnos, there is no map. It's really not area control. It's just you are trying to move along farther on the track. It keeps the cube management less messy, and you don't have to worry about what province something is in. You just advance on a track. So, and I had a relatively good time playing this game. There is a little bit of randomness where I remember in particular, there was one round that I was drawing a card and drawing a card and drawing a card and drawing a card, and they were all singles. You need to be able to play these cards in groups. And so if you're drawing a bunch of singles, then you're not going to be able to use them. Well, here's the catch with Archeos Society is that whenever you play your cards in a group, you lose the rest of them. So you have to think, do I continue drawing more cards to get what I want, knowing I might just be burning a turn by doing so? Or do I go ahead and claim something now while I can in order to advance on some of these tracks? There are also dual sides to these tracks. You've got a normal side and an advanced side, and some of the sides have different values based on what spot of the track you're on. Sometimes you will go down in points by advancing on the track, but by going up to the next position, you go up a lot and down and back up a lot and down and back up a lot. So a little bit of risk reward going on there. And you're going to play this over what, three rounds, I believe,
Yeah,
called days, and most points wins.
Yeah,
And-
I liked it better than Ethnos for
Mhm.
sure. And I like that there's a whole bunch of other cards you can mix and match when you play. I like all the different powers of the cards. There's a lot of good things, and it's pretty. But the thing about it is, I think it'll be forgettable because at the end of Dice Tower I asked I asked Michael, so what would you guys think of this game? And they're like, I didn't play it. I'm like, yeah, you did.
But I couldn't remember Archeos Society. It's like I couldn't link it with something in my mind. And then when I saw it back on BGG, I'm like, oh yeah, that game, and we do this, this, and this, and this.
It's gonna be hard to remember, and I worry about that. Like,
I also worry about that. But it was good enough to make my number 10.
yeah, I don't think the name is good.
I could see that.
It's not like a memorable name, like Air Society. Like, so it's yeah. I mean,
valid argument, valid criticism.
I liked it. I liked it. Okay, and I would play it again for sure.
Yeah, better than Ethnos.
Yeah, I liked it better than Ethnos for sure. For sure.
Scott says, I think she doesn't value Azul's opinion.
Nope.
Azul didn't play any games this month. Did you, Azul? Nope, I didn't play any. Let's see, though he was recognized multiple times at Gen Con, so he's building up his little following, and had an official badge this year.
Yeah.
So that's my number 10.
Ethnos is a memorable name versus Archeos.
Archeos Society.
I'm never going to remember that.
So, yeah, Archeos was not provided to us, but we did find a copy and play it.
Yep. My number 10 is Wonder Woods from Blue Orange Games, which was provided by Blue Orange Games to us as a review copy. It's a beautiful cover. It's a small little game, and it has these cute little mushrooms. I can't say I love fungi or whatever, but
I'm a pretty fun guy.
Yeah, he is. But this game was a pretty big surprise for me. I really like the light deduction element of this game because each mushroom will have a value 1, 3, 5, or 7. And you don't really know. You know the cards in your hand, what they are not. And as the game goes on, you'll learn what cards people choose to reveal. And then that might help you deduce what mushrooms to go for because you want the higher value mushrooms. And so it's very light, like 20-minute, like little, like set collection game. You want to collect the mushrooms for points, and you want to manage your baskets for picking them, and so it's a cute little game, and it was a big surprise for me. I really like this one, and I have played it I think 5 times now.
How many times have you won?
I don't think I've won.
Because that was your complaint the last time we played, when we played it on stream. That was your complaint. It's like, I never win this game.
I'm never going to win it. That's okay, though, because I don't need to be good at a game to enjoy it. So
I enjoy the fact that you've got some information of the cards in your hand. And what is in your hand is obviously not what cards are underneath each of the mushroom areas, right? So if the cards are all valued 1, 3, 5, and 7, so if you've got a 7 and a 5, you're like, oh, that mushroom's not worth much of anything because there's only a 3 and a 1 remaining. So you already have that little bit of information. The thing that I really like is the mechanism where if I reveal one of these cards in my hand, I'm giving you and whoever else at the table some information, but I get an extra basket to use. Yeah, I like that. So, yeah, this one just missed my list.
Yeah, I like it. The more I play it, the more I'm liking it.
I have a feeling that this has some good potential to increase on my list.
Yeah, I played it with 3. You've only played it with me, which is 2 players.
Yes, it will probably be better with 3.
Yeah, or even more. It plays up to 5, so it could get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be great. So
Yeah. And it's super fast. Super fast.
Love Meg's asked, have you recorded playthroughs of these? We have of this one. And many more that we're going to talk about.
Yep. Archeos Society, obviously, since we don't have it, we don't have a playthrough of that.
No.
However, hey, Space Cowboys.
Oh my
If we
goodness.
had it, we would play it. Anyway, yeah, so that is your number 10.
Yeah.
So, my number 9, also not provided to us. We picked this up in a flea market. I believe you picked it up as just an extra on a table when you purchased a table full of stuff.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I don't know when we got this.
The box was ragged, had literally torn off parts of.
No, I think I got it in a VFM. I picked it up.
But it had torn off parts in the box.
Yeah.
Where it was in, the box was not in great condition. The game was in great condition.
Yeah.
But it is Maiden's Quest by WizKids.
Yep.
So, this is billed as a 1 or 2 player game. And if you have 2 copies of Maiden's Quest, supposedly you could do a 3 or 4 player game. However, it is best as just a single player game where you have a deck of cards. You are a maiden who doesn't need a prince to rescue you at all. You can deal with whatever baddie there is all by yourself. So, you will choose a bad guy and put it on the bottom of your deck. Your deck will contain your character card as well as a whole bunch of other cards in there that will help you in defeating the main bad guy. You have to defeat them by the end of Act 3. So you will go through and look at the top card of your deck and look and see what it says on it. If it's not an encounter or your character card, you'll just go to the next card, putting your cards to the bottom as you do them. But wait, now you found an encounter. You will fan the next 5 cards and try to get enough symbols to defeat whatever that encounter is. That's the awesome part about it, is that if you can defeat that encounter, you get to flip that card over. And that might give you some sort of bonus, which is usually upgrading a card. How do you upgrade a card? You'll either turn it around in your hand, or if you've already turned it around, maybe you will turn it over. And then once it's over, maybe around. So cards will upgrade in your hand. If you get defeated, then you have to downgrade a number of cards in your hand. And so that's sort of cool. Anything that you've used, you'll put to the bottom, and you'll keep going until you get to the end of your deck. And at that point, you change it from Act 1 to Act 2A, then Act 2B, then I think is Act 3A, B, C. Certain monsters you won't encounter till certain acts, so it lets you ramp up a bit before you fight the really hard stuff. And then when you finished Act 3, you just keep going until you defeat the main bad guy. It was a super fun experience for me. I won my challenge. You did not win you tried twice and did not beat it.
I'm not good at that game.
But the problem with this game is the vagueness of the rulebook. I think the rulebook could use a lot of tightening up. So if you can sort of overlook all of those things, this could be a little, hidden gem sort of experience if you can find it super cheap. There's only 1 copy in the BGG store right now, and it's listed for $50, even though it really usually sells for anywhere between $5 and $20. So
yeah,
you should be able to pick this up used for cheap. So
yeah, for sure.
Pleasant surprise for me. Came out of middle of nowhere. Maiden's Quest by WizKids.
Yep. You know what? My number 9 and your number 8 are actually the same.
Yes, I actually see a few of those.
Yeah. So with that being said, it is Romi.
Romi.
I really, really love this game.
Really, Romi.
I really.
So Romi is a rummy game.
Yes. It's a take on it, I suppose.
Yes. Well, they advertise it as that. That's why they call it Romi.
Because you're trying to make sets of like the same number and you're trying to make a run of the same color, or there's very simple basic rules. If you're a card player at all, this will all make a lot of sense. But I think that's audiences trying to get into like households that don't really play games, and I think they're doing a good job because the rule set's very easy. It plays like something familiar that you already know if you play games like
Very, very
Cards
familiar.
or
Yes.
Rummy and things like that. So, it's a game I could see like having played when I grew up. Like it's a game that it feels like home. It feels like a good, like nice game that
A game that's always existed, but
Yeah.
hasn't.
yeah, I could bring this home and play with my family. Like I really like this game.
And they would just grok the rules because they
It
understand
makes sense.
the set collection, or the collecting
Yeah.
sets or runs of things.
Yeah.
So
it's a feel good game for me, and that's why it made my list, and that's probably why it made yours.
that's also
too.
why it made my list as well. Even though it is a simple game like Rummy, it's got more advanced things. Like there are 4 different goals that we are trying to go for. Like have the most tricks that deal with diamond cards, or have the most sets of 3, or sets of 4, or sets of 5. And if you have won those set collection things, then you will win that objective over your opponent or opponents. And just because you've completed 7 of these objectives doesn't mean you're going to win. You've got to add up all of those victory points on those cards. Obviously, the harder the more complex the objectives are that you're trying to collect, the more points you're going to get. You're also going to get points for if for instance that is a card that deals with diamonds. If I play diamonds in a trick along with some other things, I get to keep those diamond cards as extra points. They're each 1 point apiece. It can really add up.
Yeah, I really like that element.
So if you enjoy group objectives, race to fulfill individual objectives, or Rummy type card games, you will enjoy Rummy by Randolph.
This is really fun. I definitely would recommend it.
And this was provided to us by Randolph.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you mentioned that, but now I did.
Not sure.
But now I did. So we did it.
All right. Let me just get this.
Your number 8 is a game from Stonemaier.
Expedition.
I just missed my list.
Yeah. Okay. So we played this at Dice Tower. I really like it. I think I need to play it again, which is probably why if we play it again, it might go up on Michael's list.
Yes.
But it's one of those, like, it took a minute to get into because while there isn't a lot going on, there's still kind of a lot going on with every card being a little bit different with powers, and you're trying to find combos. But the actual actions themselves are very basic. Like you can move, you can gather, you can play a card.
You're not doing a lot each turn.
Yeah, you're not doing a lot, and the way it works is really actually pretty elegant. It's a matter about finding those combos because it's more of an engine builder. I
think as a deck builder, I don't think there's much of an engine that really gets built. I guess if you upgrade your cards enough, but the game is so short, it's just like it's done.
Yeah, maybe it's not an engine. Maybe that's the wrong term.
It's got some engine building.
Try to find combos and break those combos. So maybe not an engine builder per se, but you have these 2 cards that work really well together. You need to try and
still
activate it.
You're activating your engine. So yeah, there could be engine.
It's probably a mix of both, but it's good. I like it. No, it is not Scythe. No, I don't love it as much as I love Scythe, which I love Scythe. Yeah, you compare it because the artwork is Scythe, right? So,
right. But other than that,
you really can't compare.
Other than that, the comparisons are not there. This is not Scythe. Don't buy this expecting it's Scythe. Don't buy this expecting it's Scythe Light. Don't buy this expecting it's Scythe in a different box. This is not Scythe. This is in the Scythe world.
Right.
And nothing more.
Right.
This game could have been anything.
Yeah.
The theme is not, to me, is not part of the game.
Right.
It's not part of this game.
Right.
I've played one game of Scythe. I did not feel that this was a solid tie to the Scythe world, which I have very little connection to. But anyway.
Yeah. So I am pleasantly surprised, and I would like to play it more.
Right.
It's not like, I see why people would like it. I also see why people might not like it. So
some of the mechanisms in expeditions deal with cards that are you have a hex grid and you've got spaces between like 5 of the hexes where you've got cards in those spaces.
Right.
And so you're moving on these spaces to basically walk your mech up to the wastelands and collecting these cards or activating these cards. And a lot of it just felt sort of mechanical. I think that this does deserve a second play because I had enough fun to give it a second play. It didn't wow me enough to make my top 10. However, like you say, an extra play might indeed help this to go up on the list. I felt like I could exploit the mechanisms enough to get my stars in order to end the game. I don't remember, since it's been over a month. I think I won, but it didn't feel like I won, if that makes sense. So,
pretty sure the other girl should have won because she was set up for success.
Yes. Yeah, she was doing really well.
She was doing really well.
So, yeah.
Anyway, definitely what I want to play more of, for sure.
Yes. So, yeah. All right. That is your number 8, Expeditions by Stonemaier, which we have not yet received. Hopefully we do at some point.
Yep.
My number 7 is a game by Underdog Games. It's called Trekking Through History. This is a game that we played when we were at Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did not have a copy at the time. We do have a copy now. And hey, guess what? We've already played it. So at some point, we will get to play it on the stream for you guys.
I think it might be one of the giveaways we do for Extra Life. So
that's awesome.
August 20th.
Hey, keep in mind our Extra Live stream. If you're watching this, you probably don't want to miss August 20th. And if we have enough to give away, it might leak backwards into August 19th. But for now, it will be August 20th on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph from noon to midnight, or however late it takes. So
yeah, right.
Be sure to watch the social media feeds of not only Steph, but several of the publishers who will be providing games.
Yeah.
Who have offered to promote our stream. So Legend says, if I watch this stream, I might add a game to my Blame Steph list. That's true.
Likely.
That's what this stream is for.
Yes.
So in Trekking Through History, you are basically drafting cards into your lineup. The catch is that every card that you collect has to be a time later and later and later than the last card you have in your set. Then you can take those cards if there's nothing that you want in the lineup, or there's nothing that you can take, you will then fold all those cards together, make them a run of however many cards, and you will start collecting again, starting from olden times and moving up. You'll play this over a number of eras, and you just try to get as many points as possible. That said, this game does have a couple of weaknesses. For example, I was last in player order. What happens with this is player 1 takes the oldest card, and then another card goes up. Player 2 takes the next oldest. Player 3 takes the next oldest. And I am left with nothing that is an ancient card. I ended up taking an 1800 or 1900 card and saying, I got nothing else I could do. And so I did not focus on getting sets of things. I focused on other sorts of ways to score points. Um, I feel like I can't remember. Again, it was a month ago. But I feel like I did well in that game despite not getting the sets. So
Crushed it.
I feel like there is because you had a lot of sets, but I feel like I did well enough so that I didn't feel like I was decimated in this game. Actually, very much looking forward to playing this, especially two players where there's not a fourth player disadvantage as much as I had the first game that we played. So, very much looking forward to playing Trekking Through History. This did not make your list. What are your thoughts?
I like it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's fairly light. It's like a relaxing kind of game. Like you don't have to put like too much effort into it, which
You don't have to min-max anything. You just sort of
just kind of go with the flow and see what comes up and what works best for like so you're collecting these tokens to fill up your grid board, but you're also wanting the cards to go into your stack, so you just got to try and manage both of those things. It's nice. It's a nice game, so I'm looking forward to playing it and showing everybody about it.
Yep, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Your number 7 from
I'll play.
a game provided to us by All Play.
Yeah.
It is
Fiction.
Wow.
We had a great time playing this one on stream recently. This is basically a one versus many where somebody is the librarian who will try and lie to us and confuse us into choosing our words, but we're
Especially when I'm the trader.
yeah, it's like Wordle meets Mastermind
Equals
Hidden Trader equals Fibble.
Yes.
All these things where you are trying to make a 5-letter word and guess it. So Michael has a hidden word that we're trying to guess, and he lies once per round. So
maybe
he'll tell us if a letter's in the right spot, in the wrong spot, or not in the puzzle at all. But one of those is the wrong answer.
one letter is not stated correctly.
How rude.
Hamburger says Michael lies too well. Pretty sure he's a Cylon.
Yeah, pretty sure he's a Cylon. But we had a great time playing on stream. Even the designer commented on our video saying that was so much fun. We lost pretty hard when we played on stream too. So
not we.
Yeah, Michael won.
I won. He was a librarian.
Liars. And
it was me versus all of you.
It was tough.
There was one time during the game that I was like, I could give you this information, but if I could give you something that would give you a lot more information, but would confuse you a lot more and confuse you guys a lot more, it did. It's because there were so many people who were trying to figure this out. And I remember in the stream that we were playing, you were like, I see your suggestion, but no, that won't work. And I see your suggestion, and no, that won't work. And you were like trying to filter through the good comments.
It'll work.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So much fun. So
it was a blast.
Yeah, I really had a good time anyway.
Legend says you're a Cylon because no one plays as many games as you.
No, you're a Cylon.
And Gaston. Well, yes, I am a Cylon because I played more games than Steph last month. At least more new games, not overall games. Because you play a lot of challengers.
I play
on BGA.
A lot of challengers.
You play a lot. That's your new go-to game.
Yeah, I was really excited that we got a couple challengers promos at Gen Con.
Yes.
That was a good snag.
That was excellent.
So
I can't wait to use those.
This next game you're going to talk about, I wasn't planning for, so we actually need the keyboard.
What? You weren't planning for this?
Michael's going to put this on his list.
Guess what? I put it on my list.
So while I am shocked, I'm also very happy it's on the list.
So here's the thing about this game. I am so bad at it.
So I really didn't.
I think I am like a normal level player, and you are like super savant.
I am not a savant. I lose all the time.
Not to me, because I cannot win this game or its predecessor. I cannot win Next Station Tokyo, provided to us by Blue Orange Games. I cannot beat you at this. I just can't do it because you are so good at it. This is how good she is, folks. I'm getting scores like 78, 85, 100, and Steph goes 159, and I'm like, what? How do you get at one and a half times my score?
And I still lose every day on the board game arena.
Not to me, because
and I am still learning.
Yes.
It's a tough one. I try. So when we were working that board game geek hot games room, I tried to tell people, play. I don't know if you. I wouldn't recommend this one if you haven't played London. They're like, okay, we'll try. We haven't played London. I'm like, and then like 5 minutes later, they returned it. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You know what happened.
I want you to have a good experience, and you're not going to have a good experience if you haven't played London.
It is what you step up. It's advanced mode for London, basically.
It really is.
I think.
Even though it looks cutesy and whatever, there's a lot going on, and it's kind of hard to manage the board because you get trapped easily. It's not always clear.
Especially with the circle line.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's really a good hard.
Yes.
For those who like London, it's a good change of pace. I really like this. I love this game.
I've always said that they need to have other maps with the same mechanics, but just other maps.
Yeah.
This has other maps, but slightly different mechanics. I think they need even more maps, and it should not be that hard to create. Maybe someone could create some fan-made maps. Yeah. Just to provide a little bit of variety. Yeah. Of some sort. So
I need it, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. I've played hundreds of games of Next Station London.
Yes, you have. So. And although you can win tournaments in Next Station London, you don't have that ability in Next Station Tokyo.
I'm terrible at it. I can beat you,
but not as bad as James. Me, because I am so bad.
I can beat Dan
at this. But I see the good game there. So I'm not going to give up on it.
Good.
I see the good game, but yeah, I'm just so bad at it. So that is my number 6 pick, Next Station London. Your number 6 pick is my number 5 pick.
I know, it's another overlap here. Here we go.
And
it's too big for the little space.
You mean much like the globes in this game?
You know what? So
is it?
Yeah, we're playing it tonight. We got.
So, I got to tell you about I have 2 complaints about this game before we even get into the gameplay. These globes are way too hard to set up. I don't mean they're a little hard. They are way too hard to set up. I did not get one completed. Not one.
Thankfully, it was game night, and we had Susan and James that could do it.
Yes. Too. So it's not just the halves. There are little notches that go into the top and bottom of these that supposedly make it so these things will hold together. And I've already had one come apart once. And I finally got it back together. But during game night, I did not get one assembled. Not one notch. Not one pair of globes. This is the complaint that you will see on the forums about this.
It's hard to manage, but
if you can't get it, let a neighbor do it. Let your best friend do it. Don't give up on the game because there is a fun game here.
Yeah, we had a good time playing the game. And look how cool it looks.
I mean, it has really good table presence.
It has amazing. So this is a game we plan on playing next after this top 10. So there'll be.
God said, do they matter? Yes, it is an integral part of gameplay.
Somebody did a race relevant. But yeah, you need to have the globe in order to play. I mean, you're drawing lines and you're going distances. If you go from point A to point B, it's going to cost you $1 to $5, and you want to try and spend minimal dollars to get a bonus at the end. Dan doesn't like the fact that you have to take it apart for storage. Yeah, you're not going to take it apart.
No, you're not going to take it apart for storage.
Another storage solution. So
which is what I did. Can you bring me our storage
box? Is big.
No, there's a reason I need the box. That was for this stream and the next stream that we do with this. There's a reason. So, welcome to the Globetrotting Deluxe Storage Box. You too can have a Globetrotting Deluxe Storage Box for the low price of $29.95 plus shipping. So, if you would like to store all of your globes along with the holders, you too can be the envy of your friends. Look how easily you can store 2 of those.
No.
Along with a globe, and then you'll have 2 of those, and then you'll put this just along with it. Ta-da! The Globetrotting Deluxe Storage Box. Get yours today.
No. Call
now. So, does Steph ever opt outside? No, she does not. I don't know how we got that REI box, but get your Globetrotting Deluxe Storage Box.
Susan's.
$30. Oh yeah, they do a lot of outdoor stuff with her Boy Scout Eagle Scouts.
In any case,
Anyway,
we really do like the game.
Hate the globes. Love the game.
I actually love the globes.
I love the globes. Hate the construction.
Hate the construction. Hate the storage system that they have
because they don't fit in the box.
Yeah, the box needed to be bigger.
And the box is already large. That's the problem.
Box is really large. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but I really like the game. So there you go.
Well, it's good enough to make your 6 and my 5. So yeah,
absolutely.
So in this game, you're all going to start out in different locations, correct? I can't remember.
No, everybody starts the
same. Oh, yeah, that's right. We all started in Denali. Or yeah, I believe that's where it was. So
there are cards that are revealed, and you'll start there.
So
three locations.
You've got season cards that are placed between you and your neighbor. All right, where you can get bonus points if you choose the same destination for the same season. Basically, what you're doing is you are creating your around the world trip. You don't have anything to do from spring to fall, so you're going to create a spring, summer, and fall trip around the world. So, we have a starting spring, summer, and fall location.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is we are going to deal 3 cards face up, and then you're going to choose one of those locations to go to and a season in which to go to it. So what you will do, let's get the top down if you can do that. Oh, I'm not sure if you can do that. So what you will do is you've got a little notch right here. You're going to put your location on that notch. Let's say it's Maui. Boom, going to put that directly on this notch. Then what you will do is, let's say that the other location is Tobago. You will turn Tobago so it is on this line. So Maui will be on the arrow. Tobago will be on this equator line, and you are going to take a dry erase marker and you're going to draw a line from one to the other. Now notice this thing says 3. I am going to pay 3 coins for that leg of the trip. You can take as many spring or summer or fall destinations as you want, going from place to place to place trying to fulfill these common objectives. The first one to fulfill a common objective gets 6 points. Everyone else that does that objective gets 4 points. That's how you score points in this game. Also, if I've chosen to go to Tobago in the spring, and Steph has also chosen to go to Tobago in the spring, we could get some cool spring victory points. I think it's 1 point for each season where we have one match sometime in the game. Do these points matter? No, not really. We found that we usually did not align with either neighbor a whole lot.
No.
So,
because we all had other objectives we were going for and trying to accomplish, so it didn't often line up with what we're doing.
agreed. So, you're trying to get the objectives, spending the least money, and trying to get it as efficiently as possible to do whatever objectives there are. Like every urban destination after this one will get you 3 points, or every you want to try to get one of each continent during a certain season, maybe, or go through every time zone at least once. So little things like that. And when you're done, you're going to have these lines that crisscross all over the globe. Most points wins. It is really interesting how they got these to work. I just wish they stayed together a little better on the cardboard stuff and got together a little better on the plastic stuff. Other than that, as long as you can get it constructed, it is.
Don't take it apart.
Don't take it apart.
Yeah.
Do not take it apart. So that is my number 5. Your number 6. Any other thoughts on that?
No, it's super cool. I'm excited to show it.
Are you excited to show me?
Nope.
Somebody summons a great and powerful Azul.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
It's me, everybody. Fist bump. This is my official Gen Con badge. It shows I am an official executive producer and fist bumper.
I see.
Yes. So, and you didn't play any games this year, did you? This month, did you, Azul?
Nope.
He doesn't play games.
He does sometimes.
I play abstract.
Sometimes you do.
Oh my gosh.
So, your number 5.
Mine?
We don't have this game.
Nope, we don't.
So we can't show this game.
Nope. It is Ancient Knowledge.
From Yellow.
Yes. And this was one that we learned at Dice Tower Con. And it is a card-driven game where you're trying to get cards in your tableau, but they're going to eventually fall off. And that's when like a lot of events and things triggers when they go into decline. And basically the game ends when you have so many cards in the decline area. And so all these different cards will do different things, and you kind of want to have the same color because they bounce off of each other for more like abilities. And you're trying to collect these little like tablets and stuff that give you extra points. So it's just a matter of trying to get the most points and finding the best combos between the cards and activating. The fun is figuring out how cards can interact with each other and when to play things and like how much time is it going to take to do this card, and timing everything properly. So I like the puzzle aspect of managing your hand of cards. So how do you feel?
It's mostly multiplayer solitaire, but there are a few cards that have abilities that will mess up whatever plan that you had by like moving some of your tokens off, so you can't possibly complete them before they decline, and then you won't be able to score them.
Right.
So that's the thing. Do I want more of that to make it more of a take that game, or do I want less of that to make it more multiplayer solitaire? Ultimately, it just didn't make my list.
That's fair. I think you would probably like it again if you were to play it again.
Yeah, I do not mind it at all. It did make my short list for the top 10. It just did not ultimately make the list. So
that's fair. I like it. I would definitely want to play this one again. So hopefully we will.
Yep. And that is your number 5, Ancient Knowledge. Hello, Trombone Dalek, and hello, Jelfia. And yeah, we Azul does still have his badge from Gen Con. He won't take it off, will you? Nope.
Nope.
He loves the badge.
Yeah, Razor made it for me.
Yeah, we know.
Yep.
Everyone knows. The funny thing is, he was recognized at Gen Con, like, per minute that we were on the floor, he was recognized far more than we were. We pull him out of the backpack, and within 10 seconds, 2 people recognized him, so that was amazing. So, yeah.
Hello, Senor Azul Games at Instagram.
Yep.
Yes. So, my number 4 is a game by Board and Dice called To Barcelona. Why is it called To Barcelona?
It's not called To Barcelona. It's called Barcelona.
Why is it not To Barcelona?
No.
It can go on the T shelf.
Oh, okay. Well, no.
It's To Barcelona. No? So, Barcelona is your standard Euro game where you are, you're not really placing your workers, you are placing citizens in the city of Barcelona in order to trigger certain actions. You want to trigger the actions that are going to benefit you, whether it be laying narrow streets or laying wide streets, collecting gold, collecting fabric, and then maybe using that golden fabric to make things happen in your city, or to run your little what is it called, your little cable car tram trolley,
Yeah.
in order to activate even more things in your little model extension to the city of Barcelona, which I forgot to mention, was actually provided to us by Board and Dice. Thank you to the awesome team at Board and Dice, who we love to hang with and even work with sometimes at booths. So
Yeah.
Lots of ways of scoring points, and the one complaint that I think you have more than I have would be how quickly it can trigger the era scoring, because the first era is over before you have a chance to do pretty much anything, and the third era can end before you can finish what you have started off doing. So, and after that,
I think you have to learn just not to go for the first scoring, because it happens so fast in all the games we played. So thanks for the raid, Elevation Game.
Hey, Elevation Games.
Thanks for joining us. We are talking about Barcelona, the new Board and Dice release.
Otherwise known as To Barcelona. You're like, no.
Doesn't feel like that. It feels more of like,
yeah,
it feels different.
You mean like one of the Queen City games? But it's not a Queen City game. It's a Board and Dice City game.
Like a Feld.
Mm.
So that's why it feels like a Queen City game, because all those are Felds.
Yes. Then that comparison makes sense.
Yeah, this feels more Feldian. I know it's not.
Feldian.
But there's a lot of different things to do, and you cannot do it all.
Right.
Or you'll do very poorly.
Oh yeah, you can't. You can't possibly do it all.
You need to focus the best you can.
Focus.
Yep.
For sure.
Hey Alex, what's up?
Hey Alex.
Not sure if you need to grab this one. Well, I like it. I played it 3 times now, and I'm liking it more each time. So I think it's a really nice game.
Have you played it with more than 2 players?
Yeah, I played it with 3.
And
it was good. I mean,
better or what?
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's still tough because you don't know how many turns you're gonna get. I mean,
I think it would be even better with more players.
Yeah.
Which is what made it number 4 on my list.
4 players might be rough, because it's just like there's so much going on before your turn that it would be kind of almost chaotic, because you can't really plan all that much.
Right.
But maybe 3.
Because the systems are going to change,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but it's cool. I am happy with the game. So.
Dalek says some of the CGE workers ended up playing this on the floor of the hotel gym Sunday night once, since we got kicked out of the cafe area at 11 p.m.
Wow.
Where we were staying, it was 24-hour gaming You could game
in the lobby.
in the lobby as long as you wanted. It didn't matter if it was breakfast, dinner, midnight, 2 a.m. I mean, really didn't matter. So, yeah. So, Alex says the triggering stuff seems kind of iffy. So there's got to be some triggering mechanism to move the game along. I guess if you don't create buildings, then
you won't trigger it.
you won't.
However,
Yeah, then the game won't move.
There's reasons to make buildings.
Plus, if you don't, this is the my complaint with the game is this. If you want to slow the game down and you don't make buildings, that's fine. But then someone else is going to intentionally make buildings and score all those tasty points you didn't go after.
The early game, it won't matter as much because they're just little points. It's like 1, 2, 3
Right.
points.
But then later,
yeah, when you're giving up 10 points, you're going to lose. So
right.
You have to be building buildings each turn in the later game if you want a chance at winning.
And both games that I played, I basically, you would put something down and I'd put a building out.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially since I wanted the special goal that let me, it's like, how many times am I underneath on the bottom of a stack? I wanted to hit those as much as possible.
Right.
Which pushed the game along. So I think some of the end game objectives or era objectives could lend itself to a rushed game than a normal game.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that twice. So
yeah. It's still, I don't think it's really rushed. I also don't think it's like overstays its welcome either. So I think it probably ends up being the right length. So
right. I agree. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all. So yeah.
It's a good game.
Yep. And that's my number 4, Barcelona by Board and Dice.
Yep. We have an overlap again.
What?
A third overlap.
Yeah, but it's not cool overlaps where it's my number 4 and your number 4.
Yeah,
it's your number 4 and my number 3.
That's true. That's true.
It would be a cooler overlap, but I wasn't willing to spoil the integrity by artificially boosting one of my ratings just to make it line up. Could have done that, but I didn't.
To be fair, this
probably
could go. This could go up on my list because I like it so much. It is called Inside Job.
What?
I really like this one.
It's Inside Job. It could go up on your list, and it is a hidden trader game.
No, I really like it. I know. So the thing is, I picked up a little button at Gen Con that says I'm with Insider, but that's what an insider would say, right?
But it's usually me.
3 times that I've been the insider twice in those 3 games.
When did you play and you weren't?
On stream.
Oh, I thought you were.
I was. That's what I mean. In the 3 games I've played.
So
I've been the insider twice.
So what was the third game?
With Susan and James, I got to play the role of. I was risky.
Right, because we put the special role. Anyway, this is trick taking social deduction. Whoa, I know. So those are the sort of games that I love. Love them so much. There might be a reason for it over here. Yeah. Is that good?
The Inside Job is not great. So if you play that, you need to go ahead and add in extra roles and other things.
Well, you can't do it if you're at certain player counts. You have to play with the base roles. But if you play with more, then you can do more. So how this basically works, it's sort of like if it's sort of as if you turned the crew into a social deduction game. That's sort of how I feel about this, which I did not mention was provided to us by Cosmos.
Yeah.
So thanks, Cosmos.
True.
So how this works is each player starts off with one piece of intel, one briefcase. So if you are an agent, you are trying to complete missions. If you are an insider, who is the bad guy, then you want to you sort of want to fail missions. That's okay, but you mostly want to collect intel because if you get enough intel, boom, you reveal, and the game is over.
Yeah.
Sound issues. Wow. So if you are as I mentioned, if you are an agent, you're wanting to complete missions. If you're an insider, you want to collect intel, and you will collect intel when you win a trick. So I may be a loyal agent, but I'm collecting all the intel because I'm winning all the tricks. You start suspecting, is he an agent or is he an insider? Because I'm collecting all the tricks. Once I've collected a certain number of tricks, I believe it's based on player count, then I have to reveal my role. And if I am the insider, then I've won. If I'm a loyal agent, my role stays revealed, and potentially that lowers the pool of traders. There is also something that I have rarely seen done, and that is have a hidden trader element in a two-player game.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like you actually can play it with a dummy third player.
Can't be Senor Azul.
I'm not a dummy.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
you are.
no. Wow, you are so rude to him. You're like a puppet poker or something.
No.
So it's a dummy player. I believe his name is Larry. And if you are not the starting player, you get control of Larry. You will get to draw 3 of his cards. Choose one, discard one, put the other one back on top. And this is how I found you out on our stream. And
I wasn't
caught you as the
trying to hide
insider.
it. I wasn't trying to hide it
Oh,
at that point because I had to like make a move. I had to try.
yeah, but when you were busted, you should see the guilty look that was on your. You should play back that just to see the guilty look go over your face. It was so funny. So, hidden treasure game, check. Trick taking game, check. Cruise style objectives, check. Love it.
15-minute because it's only one
15
hand.
minutes.
It's only one hand.
It's only one hand.
You
It's
just play one hand.
right. So you end up playing 2 or 3 or 4 games, which is good for our 100 by 100 challenge. Hey, did you forget that was going on? That's still going on. Though I haven't updated it in quite a while, but for anyone who is interested, I'm going to put the link in the channel. And
Jelfia did.
yeah. Oh, thanks, Jelfia. Look at that. She's on it. Boom. Just like that. That's my number 4. That's my number 3. Your number 4. Inside Job by
Cosmos.
Cosmos.
Yeah, that was a game I didn't think I was gonna like as much as I did.
And you did.
I know it was so
That's so
fun.
good.
It was so fun. So I am happy with that. Moving on to my number 3.
Number 3.
This is a game you haven't played.
I have not played this.
I found it on Board Game Arena, which is good. I think it's in alpha, so I don't know if it's people can play it yet, but
Eventually.
it's called Perfect Words. For anybody who's played Lucky Numbers, it really looks like, I think it's the same publisher. It looks exactly like it with the like font and everything. However, the game is very different. This is a cooperative word game where you are putting like these tiles in a almost like crossword like grid. And so like if I take the word music, I put it into the grid, and then you take the word like student, you put it next to music, and then we have to put an umbrella down pointing at that row of 2 or more. And so at that point we have to try and start thinking as we play the game. We're thinking about all the possibilities. Each umbrella, there's 10 umbrellas that we're going to have to place into this crossword grid facing a row of words and all these things. And so we're going to have to come together at the end to write the same thing for our answers. So with music and student, maybe you put class or something as your word, and then hopefully you would think of class and put class. And so we're trying to think of 10 common answers for all of the different umbrellas, wherever the umbrellas are pointing. And so we want to try and make it as clear as possible that we're talking about the same thing when we look at these words. I've played this game like maybe 3 or 4 times, and I've only ever gotten 3 out of 10 umbrellas at best. Like, it's very hard to match up with people and think of the same thing because, well, I don't really think exactly like Dan.
Ain't that the truth?
Isn't that the truth? I don't think like people. I need to, some people just know like Black Forest means Germany or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. And Dan's like cake.
You've
I'm
been
like,
to Germany.
it's a type of cake.
It is a type of cake.
I'm like trees. I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to get at. And like I'm thinking grass and forest. That commonality is green. And I'm like grass and forest. It makes sense, right?
Jovi says cake. Nah.
I don't know. I've never heard of the cake. So Dan's like, it's obvious. I'm like, it's not obvious to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so that's why it's funny because it's obvious to some people, but it's not obvious to me. So yeah, Steph, I know.
We should go to Germany.
Yeah, I think so too. But I had so much fun with this. I've really, really enjoyed playing this so far. I want to get better at it and try and like think of good things. But it's a simple but very challenging cooperative game.
Yep.
So it's fun. I liked it.
So that is your number 3, Perfect Words, which eventually I guess I will play.
I think so.
Putting me ahead of you yet again.
Whoa.
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 So, my number 2.
Number 2.
Wow, those are good transitions. Sort of like that. My number 2 is a game by Hegemonic Project Games, a game we do not have yet. It's Hegemony. This game is deep. This game is super deep because it tries its best to model economic systems. So,
that was big words.
in a 2-player game, if I remember correctly, one player plays the capitalist and one player plays the working class. If there are 3 people, the third player will play the state. If there's a 4th player, the 4th player will play. I can't remember. We did have 4 players. So, each of these groups will have certain goals. The capitalists want all of the tracks, I believe, pushed to the left or the right. I can't remember which. And then the working class want it moved the other direction from the capitalists. The state has certain goals, specific goals they want to hit.
You're middle class, so that was the third.
Oh, it was the middle class. That was the 4th player. I think they were the middle class.
That's the 4th one that gets added in. I played
No,
the
state's the 3rd one that's added in. I'm fairly sure. The 4th one is the middle class. The state has certain goals they want to hit. Some of them might be left, some might be right, some might be center. Middle class wants to be right in the center. Anyway, you have businesses that are open. Some of the players might have businesses of their own that they open up. The board might have some. The state might create some publicly owned ones that will pop up, and you're going to allocate your workers there, but then the workers have to get paid. And if I own some businesses and other people have put their workers there, then I have to pay them some money to come work for me. The working class has a whole bunch of workers that will come out. There's different costs for each of the groups. It's clear that they put a lot of thought into creating the thematic mechanisms to make this work. Now, I've seen some complaints online about how because a few of the things didn't quite make game sense, but they made thematic sense, it left them with a subpar playing experience. I did not find that. However, I have heard that the group that I tried to play
You were middle class.
I was the middle class, and that is the hardest, among the hardest to play. Because you're trying to line everything up in the middle, and people are trying to pull both directions away from what you want it to be. For the capitalist and working class.
Yep.
And that it's really hard for the middle class to win, and that's one of the complaints that I see. So this game does have an opportunity to move either up or down on my rankings.
I actually liked it more than I thought I would.
For as deep as it is, it's super deep
I don't mind it being
and
deep.
long.
I just don't, it's not a theme I'm like excited by any means. I'm like, give me the easiest faction to play. So I was the state, and it was very easy to understand what I was doing. So I had a good time with that. I got a few side eyes for what I was trying to do from Evie's. Like, why are you trying to do that? I'm like, well, I have my reasons, and I did well because I ended up winning. So I think I made him mad because I took that win in that game. But I got away with some good things that I probably shouldn't have gotten away with. Like, had they been watching out for me more closely, like, I probably should have crashed a few times as a state. So yeah, they should have.
I had the victory taken away from me by one thing getting moved. So
tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and I'm willing to give it another shot for sure, and that's why I made number 2, because I liked. I'm a sucker for thematic games. I love thematic games, especially if things implement the theme really well, and this really does.
Yeah, I liked it more than I thought I would. However, I still don't love it. Like, I could play again.
And that's why it's not on your list.
Do I want to play again? I think I would rather put my time and effort into a game of Nemesis than that, because to me Nemesis just makes sense. I can go in and play it.
Different experiences.
Understand the different experiences, but I'm still dedicating that much time.
Agreed.
So if I'm going to dedicate that much time,
well,
might as well play something I'd more rather want to play. So for me, it was okay, and I get why people are loving it, but it's just not like.
Right. Heroic says that it goes working, capitalist, middle class, state. So state is added 4th.
That's what I knew it to be. So, because Evan's like, this is what gets added 4th, and I'm like, I'll take it. That Steph was right.
Well,
because it's the red versus blue. No, it was. Yeah, because you were yellow.
I was yellow.
And now it's the middle class, and then I was purple, which is the state. So
yes.
I knew yours was added 3rd because you're like, if we ever play a 2-player, we were going to be the red and blue. Mm-hmm. So yours was added 3rd, mine was added 4th. That's how I remember it being explained. But yeah. Anyway, it's a big game. You're not going to jump into it by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're going to play it, you should do your homework or just get taught by somebody who knows the game well. We were fortunate to have somebody who's played it 3 or 4 times that could teach it pretty clearly, and I understood what I was doing, and I didn't need to know what everybody else was doing because I was just trying to focus on what I was doing.
Right.
Like, and just trust that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because this is a game that I cannot understand what everybody's doing in the first play. Much like Root. Like, Root is beyond me. So.
I haven't played Root. I haven't played Root. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is my number 2, Hegemony from Hegemonic Project Games.
Yep.
Or just Hegemonic.
Yep. My number 2 is...
Number 2!
Barcelona.
Whoa.
Yeah, I like this more than you. Maybe because I got to play it a 3rd time. Maybe...
Because I've only played it at 2 players.
Yeah.
And you've gotten to play it with 2.
Sure, 3 players was like a big change or anything, but just understanding it better going into it, has made me enjoy the
You were ready
experience
for the
more.
worker
Yeah, I could
trigger.
figure out like what I wanted to try and focus on. I could find patterns and optimize my play, and so I felt more confident going into the third play, and I'm like, I'm liking this more. So it definitely, I don't always say give games a second chance, but this already was on the bubble.
But it has to be fun enough.
Yeah. So
Dan's Law.
yeah, the first time we played it, I'm like, I need to play it again, and so like it got past that bubble of, do I want to play it again? Yes, I did want to play it again. I like a lot of what's going on in this game, and there's a lot of I like how you select the actions you're choosing, because where you put those citizens will matter for sure. So where you put those citizens matters, and it's good. It's a good problem and thing to figure out and sort through. So
Right.
I like all of the different options that you are presented in this game.
Yeah. And where you place on the board can really influence where other people place on the board for sure.
Yeah, and like if you want to get a building this turn, you might have to place in a suboptimal place and do actions you don't necessarily want to do. So it's like you have to weigh what
Or to stop
more.
someone else from making a building.
I know. So it's, I don't know. There's some good juicy decisions in this game that I really like. I don't love the race to ending of the score, like the triggering of the error scorings, but it's not a lot of points. I mean, it can be a lot of points. Like if you're working towards that third scoring the whole game, you could get a lot of points if you make it happen.
Yeah, well, I always look at that and go, I'm going to shoot for that.
Yeah, so I got a ton of points in the last game because I was aiming for it the whole game. You just can't focus on the first one because you're going to get surprised and it's going to be not as good as you were hoping.
Still push a little bit towards
I
it.
try, but then it's like 2 points. I'm like, that was wasted. I should not have done that. But yeah.
So, back to number one. Yes, number one. You were surprised. Why would you be surprised?
Because I thought Hegemony was going to be your number one.
Yeah, shocker. It's fiction because I'm a good librarian. I'm an excellent librarian.
Oh, I know you're an excellent librarian. I also thought
You're just a good trader.
Well, yeah, but that's part
inside
of it.
job might be like up there higher. I don't know.
That's why I've got it number
I
three.
just was surprised that fiction made your number one spot.
Yeah, well, I love word games, and so I think that this was really a really interesting puzzle to have to deal with. So keep in mind to pay attention to some of the potential house ruling for looking things up in a dictionary, which I address in our stream on your YouTube channel. So be sure to watch that video and watch our playthrough to know how we deal with, or how we propose to deal with dictionary lookups. But otherwise, I think that the game is super simple and super simple to explain, super deep to play, and really fun.
Yeah.
So, to try to puzzle out. So Splitty says it's just frustrating, and Jelfia agrees.
I like it. What's going on?
Number one.
Oh,
Number one.
I don't know.
Number one.
Number one. My number one.
One. Number one.
It is Stone Architects from Thunderworks Games.
Provided by Thunderworks.
Yep, this was a pre-production copy during their Kickstarter that we were able to show off and present a playthrough for. I super loved it. It's totally up my alley. It's drafting cards. You're building the biggest, baddest dungeon. There's so many ways to score points in this game. I love that after each round you draft a new scoring card. There's a lot of like easy, fast choices that you make, but everything comes together at the end and you're going to get to score for so many different things. I don't know, there's so much elegance in this game, and it's simple, and yet there's still so much to think about. So for me, this hit all of the right spots, and I really, really liked it.
So during our plays, we both seemed to score we scored an abnormally large amount of points for the entrance to exit room connection strategy.
Yes.
And that sort of left me feeling a little bit cold when both players can get 30 points and 30 points for that, leaving the other points to be a little small. And or alternatively, I can stick you with something that's going to spoil you at the very end, leaving me to get 30 and you to get 15. Or I get 60 and you get 30, and meaning I connect up my front but not the exit. And it was okay. I enjoyed the drafting. I enjoy the purchasing the lots in the store or whatever.
I think it works with 2 players because you draw the extra card.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 players, it's much harder. You're not going to have like a perfect board. I mean, you could come close, but you're going to be stuck with cards you really don't want.
Right.
Because you don't get to draw that extra card, meaning there's still opportunity to draw the perfect cards. But in any case, I really like this game. It's for 20 minutes, I don't know. I don't think you can really go wrong with this one. So,
right. But yeah, it barely, again, it was one of those that was on the edge of my list, but ultimately I found slightly just enough problems to drop it below number 10. Though it did flirt with the bottom when I was trying to feel out, which one do I like better? Notable exception missing from my list, Princess of Florence.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's going to make your list.
Did not make the list.
Yeah.
I'm probably going. This is a hot, controversial take. But I did, and maybe it's just this Euro showing its age, but I did not find the drafting and bidding stuff to be all that compelling. And when you're sitting there trying to purchase whatever it is you're going to purchase, well, it's 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 or 17, and it's really not all the points seem to clump. If you're gonna take action X 2 or 3 times, then I just come behind later and get those same actions. Or if you do X, I do Y. Now, I read a review that said that this game solves what Puerto Rico has. If you do X, I do Y. But that's exactly how I feel about Princess of Florence. If you take building, I'm taking some other beneficial action. So, yeah. Hello, Shano.
Hey, Shano.
Scott says it was kind of meh for me back in the day, and that's how I felt. I wanted to like it a lot better than I did. We do have it on the streaming couch, ready to go, though we haven't played it at 2. I'm willing to give it another shot just to see if I am wrong.
Yep.
I know that there is enough good in there. It just seems like there's not enough opportunity to diversify the score. And if you do, it's by one more big chunk. And so I'm ahead by 17 points and no one's going to catch me, or everyone is all clumped together if I don't get some kind of lucky thing that sets me apart. Or, and I felt the taking of somebody else's expert and then playing them in your own seemed a little clunky, just like not really elegant. So, especially when all of them eventually become available, but they aren't available at the start, and they eventually all become available. Anyway, just strange that I expected that to be on my list before I played it, and nowhere to be seen on my list. Just did not make it.
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't sure.
interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's a classic, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that was our top 10 and 1.
Well, not and 1 because it didn't make my 11.
No, but it was and 1 extra.
And 1 extra. Though if we did have top 10 things to talk about, we would have like 2 or 3 good expansions to talk about.
Yeah.
Like the expansion for the Adventures of Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And the expansion to Space Explorers. So we played some really cool expansions this week too. Though
Yeah.
this is new to me games and not new to me expansions. So rundown of my top 10. Number 10, Archeos Society. Number 9, Maiden's Quest. Number 8, Romi. Number 7, Trekking Through History. Number 6, Next Station Tokyo. Number 5, Globetrotting. Number 4, Barcelona. Number 3, Inside Job. Number 2, Hegemony. And number 1, Fiction. And that's a fact.
Whoa.
My number 10, Wonder Woods. Number 9, Romi. Number 8, Expeditions. Number 7, Fiction. Number 6, Globetrotting. Number 5, Ancient Knowledge. Number 4, Inside Job. Number 3, Perfect Words. Number 2, Barcelona. Number 1, Stonespine Architects.
Barcelona. Okay.
Allie says, I want to play Inside Jobs. Yes, you do. It is a lot of fun. So we had a pretty good July. I have an anticipation that August might be
August is going to be fantastic.
Might be really great.
We'll see.
To play. So I'm looking forward to it.
What is Senor Azul's number 1?
I didn't play any games. I just executive produced this stuff.
He didn't play any this time. But maybe next time we'll get him in on a game.
Oh, I ate some good things at the Firemind booth.
Oh yeah.
And the Broadway Games booth. Yeah.
Yeah. He ate some food.
Yeah, he ate some squishy little rainbow critters, and
maybe he could play Trash Talk when we play that.
Oh, that would be fun.
Number 1.
So be sure to hang out with us over on twitch.tv/BoardGamerStuff if you're watching this after the fact. August 20th is a day to mark in your calendar because we are going to have an all-day extra live stream with tons of giveaways and tons of fun games to play. So
at least tentatively August 20th. It could be 19th and 20th.
Could be. But
hopefully just August 20th.
Yes, that's the plan. Right now.
Tons of games to give away. So join us for that.
Yeah.
And if it's not August 20th, 2023, come join us every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. Central, where we stream 3 games every single stream.
Yes.
Yeah. So come join us.
All the games. Let's play.
Hey, be a part of the chat like these fine folks.
Yes. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.
Come join us.